looking like a baby in the corn. I put the water in the ocean in the city that I'm from.
What's goody, guys? Welcome back to Wind Up with Books with your girl Kay. So as you can see by the title, we are reviewing Housemaid series, book number 2. Book number 3 is set to come out in 2024. I forgot which month. I think it's either May or June, but I definitely said it in my first video. Anyways, we're going to jump right into it. As I said in the first book review, I'm not going to spoil it because I want you guys to go ahead and read it. I'm going to just give my review and a little background in it, right? So in book 2, we're introduced back to Mille, of course, my girl Mille. Mille be holding it down. I really like Mille's character. People underestimate my girl, but my girl been showing them. She been showing them. Yeah. So we're introduced back to Enzo. Enzo is a fan favorite. Enzo is a real one. Ride or die. Enzo got my heart. And then we're introduced to 3 new characters. Well, there's more, but the important one. So we have Brock, who is now Mille's white preppy lawyer boyfriend. He's rich, by the way. Then we're introduced to Mr. and Mrs. Garrett, Wendy Garrett and Douglas Garrett, right? So Wendy, well, we're gonna start with Mille. So Mille is currently renting a broke down apartment with a slumlord in the Bronx. First of all, we don't even go to the Bronx. So I don't even know what Mille is doing in the Bronx. That's number one. That was her first mistake. If you from New York, you from the Bronx, sorry for you. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? Sorry for you. But anyway, so yeah, that was her first mistake. So now, she's struggling. She went back to school. She's going to get her social work degree. Because at the end of the day, she's been helping a whole bunch of women since the first book. She's went through a number of different houses helping women, and she's been holding it down for the women. And she just decided to get her social work degree so she could do it the legal way, right? She's just tired of killing it, essentially. So first of all, shout out to all my social workers. You got a fellow social worker right here, so shout out to y'all. But yeah, so she wants to do that. So I support Mille in that cause. So yeah, she's doing babysitting jobs to make ends meet. And in the beginning, she gets fired from her babysitting job that was helping pay for her apartment, stuff like that, because basically she was babysitting for a rich mother who was not around for the baby, who wants Mille to drop her errands or whatever she's doing so she can go get her nails done or go tanning, and the baby doesn't know her mother. So one day the mother comes in, wants Mille to drop what she got to do so she could go run some stupid errand, and the daughter starts calling Mille mom. So the mother is under the impression that, Mille is the one that's telling the daughter to call her mom. First of all, the baby's a baby, and the baby's gonna call whoever's around mom, especially if they feel secure and attached to them, right? So the mother got mad and fired Mille. So now Mille's out of a job. So she's trying to put out these ads so she can get new jobs, and she's under the impression that when she put the ads out, they're gonna look at it, they're gonna call her back. So she hasn't really been getting any hits, and she's worried about being put out. At the same time, Mille is dealing with this creepy ass dude. Again, she's in the Bronx, who lives in her building. So she one day the dude is just like low-key trying to follow her, like, oh, your name is Mille. She don't speak to nobody. She minds her business. She do what she gotta do. And he kept following her. So I'm gonna just fast forward. He tries to attack her, and she whoops his ass, as she should, right? But everybody looks at Mille when the police come. Instead of having sympathy for her and believing her, because I'm not gonna lie, Mille did push his ass down the stairs, and she whooped him after. She did a little over the top, but I would have did much more. Had some strange ass man know my name, know where I'm living, trying to follow me, grab me, and no one is trying to help me. But this is New York City. Everybody minds their business, and I would have did what I had to do because men don't know how to keep their hands to themselves. So she did what she had to do. The police get there, but as soon as the police come, they run her name and they see her. She was in jail. She has a felony. So all of a sudden now she's a suspect and he's the victim, right? And it just disgusted me because he was low key following her, stalking her. So now she's fearful, and then she got this bum ass, rich ass boyfriend named Brock who. Brock is young. He has like this heart defect, so he wants to start a family with her. He wants Millie to move in with him, and she's just like, no, like I need to be independent. I want to be independent. I'm not really feeling you like that. Like I like you, but you don't know me. Like he doesn't know the dark side to Millie, and I don't even say she thinks it's a dark side. I think it's just another side to Millie when she's triggered and her life is in danger. She has to act accordingly, and she has to do things because she has some strikes against her, right? And at the same time, the book transitioned from book 1 to book 2. It transitioned to where Enzo and Millie did get into a relationship together. They got into business together where they was getting all these women out of bad relationships. They was so in love. Like I'm glad they got together, but then Enzo ends up, leaving her and going back home because his mother is sick. So they unofficially broke up. So when they broke up, she waited for him. He never came back. He said he was coming back. He didn't come back, so she moved on with Brock. And we all know how that would have went. Millie background, Brock's background, it's never gonna be, right? And she needed an Enzo in her life, and she had it. Enzo just disappeared. I didn't mess with Enzo in that one because how could you do that? So my girl Millie is broken heart, but she's trying to move on. But like Brock is a safety net for her, but it's just not secure. If you get what I'm saying. If you need me to explain, drop it in the comments. So anyways, at the same time, Millie feels like somebody is just watching her constantly. Every time she leaves her home, somebody's watching her. And she's right. There's a car, tinted windows, black. Every time she leaves, she sees the car parked up. The car's following her wherever she goes, when she go to work, woo. So I'm like, damn, like Millie just can't catch a break. All my good sis just want a job. She wants to feel free. She wants to start a career. She wants to live her life. She just wants to put everything behind her. And here comes some BS. So anyways, fast forward. Right, she's under the impression because that she got a call for a job from a man named Douglas Garrett and answer her ad for a house nanny or woo. So she's like, it couldn't come at a better time because she is about to come into the moment where she's about to be evicted. And first of all, the book got to do a better job of highlighting eviction because in New York City you can't just tell a tenant to give them a notice or tell them verbally that they got to leave by the end of the week. It don't work like that in New York, honey. Our eviction process is a long-ass, lengthy process, honey. So that's the only thing I got to say about the book. When you write about New York City and you write about eviction, write it well. Thank you. But, yeah. So, other than that, because I wasn't really feeling that. But, yeah, other than that, what was I getting at? So, yeah, Millie gets a call from Douglas Garrett. He's like, yo, I see your ad. Can we meet? Wooty woo, like, I'm trying to hire you. So, she goes to meet Douglas. He's wealthy. The building's giving, like, old, ancient vibes, whatever. We don't got the vibe. You can read it in the book. And, she meets Douglas. She can tell that, they have money. And he's a little, like, stern, a little off, like, giving weird vibes. But at the end of the day, she's just like, I need a job. The house seems simple. He just wants her to clean, cook food, have food ready. He's very precise, very specific. And, yeah. So she's just like, oh, while she's, there doing a little house tour, talking to him, she's like, oh, what about Mrs. Garrett? So he says, Mrs. Garrett is upstairs. She's sick. She rarely comes out. She hasn't been feeling to herself, woo. So she's like, oh, am I ever gonna meet Miss Garrett? He's like, oh, she'll come out, woo. She decides to take the job again. She needs it. So she is within the week. She's been working. She starts working. She tries to go upstairs to knock on the door with Mrs. Garrett just to give her some food, see if she's okay, introduce herself. Sometimes like the door will be left open a little bit, and as soon as she'll walk to the door, like Mrs. Garrett try to introduce herself, the door will close in her face. So she said she felt like that seemed a little off, and it did seem off. But for me, if I was to that job, at first, I'm just gonna mind my business. I don't care about me and Mrs. Garrett. I'm just there for a job. But Millie being who she is, she has the instincts that something is off, right? So yeah, as she begins working for Garrett, the Garretts, it's good money. She's still going back and forth with Brock. Brock is like, I want you to move in, and Millie's making all these excuses to him, and it's just like, it's not adding up. And he's like a hopeless romantic. He wants to have kids because at the end of the day, he doesn't know if he's going to live to see 30 because of his condition. So she understands that, and then she's still getting followed. So I'm just like, all right, like, okay. So fast forward one day, the door is left open. Millie sees blood. Millie goes to the room, and she's like, if you don't open the door right now, Mrs. Garrett, I'm gonna call the police. So Mrs. Garrett opens the door, and when she opens the door, it's a sight to see, like, boop, blood all over the face, everything. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like he has this lady locked up, just beating her. So I'm reading the book like, these men, they always like putting their hands on women, like this is ridiculous. So I'm over here fighting to the teeth for Mrs. Garrett, fighting for the teeth. Hey, yeah, I'm gonna stop right there. So yeah, so anyways, Millie's just like, she sees that, she's like, oh no, like, we're gonna get you out of here. Like, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to get you out of here. Mrs. Garrett's like, he's a powerful man, he's in tech, like, if I leave, he'll find me. Like, all of that. Millie's like, listen, I know somebody that could, well, technically, she didn't say that, because she was like, she did have connections, but the connections was through Enzo, because Enzo's no longer in the picture at this time. She don't have no connection. So she's like, we just gonna make it work. We'll do. So, she rents a car, not in her name. She's doing what she got to do. She gets cash. Tell her, whatever you have, you can sell jewelry, all that. Sell it, get some money, get some money. Woo-de-woo. So, like I said, I'm not going detail for detail because I want y'all to read about the escape. I'm not gonna tell you everything how that happens. So anyway, long story short, the first escape, Millie, they're actually successful, right? And getting her out the city, getting her to a motel, woo-de-woo. And then Millie was feeling good, and all of a sudden, Mrs. Garrett is calling her back like, oh, he brought me back. So where it starts getting a little suspect to me in my head is just like I said, I'm not spoiling how Millie helped to escape, but it gets a little suspect because it's like when you read the escape part, it's just like Millie did everything to a T. She was very alert. So, there was no cell phone, no nothing involved in terms of where there could be a tracker, and she did right by the vehicle. So in my head, I'm like, how is it that Mr. Garrett found them? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, that part didn't add up to me. But as you read the book, you'll understand why they add up to you. So if you get to that part of the book, you're like, oh, like, how is that possible? Keep reading, okay? Just keep reading. Keep reading. So, yes. Anyways, so after Millie helped her escape the first time, well, technically, the only time, I'll spoil that, the only time she really helped her escape. I keep saying first time. She comes back, tries to drop the car off, and then the car that's been following Millie pulls up. I'm gonna spoil this part. So the car that follows Millie pulls up, lights blindness. I'm like, oh, Millie about to get active. Cause like, why is a car pulling up on her? And she's thinking it's the husband, so she's ready to do what she gotta do. Next thing you know, who come out the car? Enzo. So I'm like, Enzo's back. But I'm ready to punch Enzo, cause why would you leave like that? So Enzo tells her, like, yes, my mother was sick, my mother died, I'm back, I miss you, I see you with this douchebag, he can't protect you, with the woo. And Enzo's really the only one that Millie could confide in, she could be her true self around, she really loved and miss him. But she wasn't trying to show him, because yeah, like, you don't show no man that you love and miss as they walked away from you. So what if you still love them? You do what you gotta do, you stand on 10, honey. You left, stand on that. But I still love you though. I ain't gonna show you, but I still love you though. But anyway, so yeah, so that's that. As the book goes on, more things start happening. Again, if I keep going into the book, I'm gonna end up spoiling it for you guys. I'll just say though, the plot twist in this book, I did not see coming. I knew something was off, but I did not see it coming, right? What I will say is that Enzo, with the dude who tried to attack Mille that lived in her building, the creep guy who the detectives all of a sudden thought Mille was a suspect. Enzo ends up getting his revenge and plants drugs in his apartment. And when the cops came looking for him, he had the cops did a search and she's in his apartment. He got arrested for the drugs. First of all, because Enzo was the one that was watching Mille for months. Enzo was watching Mille, watching her move, protecting her, making sure that she's good. That's what a real man's gonna do. He knew he was wrong, but he said, I'm still gonna stand 10 times toes deep, 10 fold, all that for Mille. So when he seen what Mille, what the dude did to Mille, he couldn't pull up on Mille like that. So he did what he did best, and he framed him. Now that I mean, it's a book, but this is how I feel. Once you put your hands on a woman, you try to rape her, you try to physically abuse her, you karma, karma, you sketchy, you in the Bronx, karma. Sorry, so Enzo did what Enzo had to do for the love of his life, and I don't blame him. Enzo held it down for Mille because Enzo's the only one that's really been down for Mille, holding it down for Mille since day one. As you know, Enzo's the one who made in book one, I forgot the lady name, forgot the main character name, but she's not important. Made her go back for Mille because she was trying to violate Mille. So Enzo's a real one. And so yeah, Enzo planted the drugs, man went to jail. He got what deserved, because what the police try to say is that, because Mille got a criminal record, basically her word means nothing, and the neighbors heard the man screaming, and the neighbors heard Mille. Saw Mille push him down the stairs and punching him, kick him while he was down. And my thing is, it's a woman name like that. So I don't really gotta get started on. I mean, not get started. But anyway, so that's what happened to the dude that tried to attack Mille. Brock and Mille broke up, and the reason why Brock and Mille broke up is because when Mille ends up getting arrested for murder. So when she gets arrested for murder, she calls Brock to represent her, right? And Brock was like, okay, what happened? As Millie's telling him what happened, he can't believe his ears, like, because she ends up telling Brock, like, I have a record. I went to jail for murder before. And he's like, oh, take it back. Oh my God, you didn't tell me. Oh my God, how could you? I don't even know you. Woody woo. So the minute she says that, all of a sudden now she's guilty in his eyes. And that's the problem. Like, if you so-called love this woman, yes, technically she lied. Technically, she did not lie to him. She did not deceive him. She just kept information for him. But it was wrong. She should have told him. I will say that. She should have told him at the end of the day. She should have told him and gave him the opportunity and the chance to say, I want to move forward with you, or I don't want to move forward with you. She gave him that. But I understand why she didn't tell him. But at the end of the day, when it come to that, once they started getting serious and started saying boyfriend, girlfriend, he should have known that, right? That's not no first date type of conversation. That's we getting serious. This is about a year and something. I'm gonna tell you, right? But yeah. So once he finds out that she got a record, all of a sudden he looking at her different, and that stuff like that. That's why Mille didn't want to tell him, because she knew he could not handle the truth. He didn't know he cannot handle the truth. You want this woman to show her his deeper, darkest secret. She did. She told him what happened, talking about self-defense for a friend, and he don't want to hear it. He instantly judged her like everybody else. Everybody else was judging her. Nobody wanted to look at the work that she was doing for the woman, how many women she helped, because it's on record, low-key, like a trail. Like, every time she helped somebody, like, obviously the police got involved. So it was just like, people judge the book by a cover. And again, you already know how I felt. I felt for Millie's character, because I just felt like she's a protector, and she's protecting this woman, but yet she's getting the bad end of the stick. So anyways, so that's how he ends up finding out about her past, because she gets arrested for murder. Now, if I tell you why she gets arrested for murder, I'm going to spoil the story, so I'm not going to tell you. But anyways, I'm not going to tell you what happens after that. But just know, after she gets arrested for murder, Enzo still was holding her down. She didn't stay in jail though for the murder. Like, she was like a person of a high person of interest. And I'll tell you, what else can I tell you? I don't have the book here. I'm gonna put the book somewhere in the video too. Did the book say in the back, the synopsis, did it say? Yeah, all right. She was arrested for murder. The murder that she was arrested for is she was arrested for Douglas Garrett's murder, right? So if you read the synopsis, I think it's in the synopsis. If it's not, I'm sorry. I just told, that's the only thing I'm gonna spoil, is that if she's not in the synopsis, that she was arrested for Douglas Garrett's murder. And if you read the synopsis, you're gonna think, oh yeah, this is another one where Mille was holding it down for a woman. But if you know anything, you know that Mille does not like to kill. Killing only comes if it happens by accident or if it's to extreme measures and it's needed. So that's that. So Millie's not really a killer. She's just a protector. So yeah. So but like I said, the book was I think book 2 was way better than book 1. I stand by that. I think book 2 was more engaging than book 1. Book two was more engaging than book 1. I think the plot twist in book 2 was better than the plot twist in book 1. And I only say that for me is because I kind of saw the plot twist in book 1 come in terms of the husband being the one that was psychotic because of how the book was going in the beginning. With this one, you could tell off the bat something was wrong with the husband, but you couldn't really tell that plot twist was going to happen. That's why I say what I say. All in all, I enjoyed book 1, but book 2 was it for me. It just had a lot going on. You felt for the characters. Again, there's not much characters that I really like besides Enzo and Mille. It was just more engaging and more fast paced for me. I enjoyed the writing style in this one more than book 1. This one was more fast paced than book 1. Things picked up more quicker in book 2 than it did in book 1. I think the author did a good job with the plot. I promise you, I did not see that coming at all. Like, I didn't. I was just like, okay. If you read book 2, let me know what you think. But I definitely think that if you're into thrillers, you will enjoy this series. Like, it's very engaging. It keeps you on your toes. It keeps you guessing. It keeps you rooting for the women, especially for the battered woman. Like, you just want the woman to escape, and it gets you worked up, get your emotions running. Like you rooting for the characters, but then it's just like the author turns around and like a gut punch you for a minute, right? Then it's gonna be like, all right, now, like, why would you want to do that? But like I said, I really enjoyed book 2 and book 1, but book 2 right now is my favorite. We'll see what the author does for book 3. Shout out to Millie's character, hands down. Her character is well written. It got a little looseless in the I don't want to say a little loose because it implies that there could be more with Millie's character. I definitely think that Mille deserves a true happy ending, and she needs to stop with these dead end ass jobs. I'll say that. Like, the author needs to get my girl going. Sorry, y'all. Like, I'm tired of Mille having to survive off less. Get my girl out the Bronx, first of all. Bring her to Brooklyn, even Queens. But get her out the Bronx, please. Get out the Bronx. She deserves, put her by Prospect Park or something, but the Bronx? The Bronx? Sorry. But yeah, that's just how I feel. So, you know, I'm keeping this review short. Hopefully it is short. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. Like, as I could say, and I've been saying, probably not on here, but on Instagram, like, the books for 2023 have not been hitting. So when it is hitting, I'm gonna let you guys know. Like, as you can see, if you stood beside me, you've been holding me down on my page since I started posting, then you'll know, like, the books from 2022 was lit. The ones I've been reviewing for 2023 is not hitting. It makes me not want to review books because I feel like sometimes I don't have nothing to talk about because I don't like the books. Like, so it's hard for me to review books and post videos when I don't like the books, and I don't want to put out no book review just to say, oh, I posted a video for you guys. Like, generally, the books have not been hitting. I read last year. I read 150 books last year. This year, my goal is 50 books. I only made it to 41 because the books is not hitting. Like this one, don't even do it to yourself. Don't even do it to yourself. This one right here, don't do it. And I don't even have the other one, but just don't do this one. I don't even know where the other one's at. But yeah, don't do it to yourself, guys. I'm going to do a video on books, the books that I read for 2023 that I did not like. So y'all can see that I've read books. I haven't even posted on Instagram books because it's trash. Like, I'm sorry. These books are not hitting. Not this year. Hopefully 2024 is better. But anyways, the next book review, I haven't forgotten you. It's going to be Lord of the Flies. Again, like I said, I read that book at high school, so it was cool. I don't remember much about it, so we'll see how I like it again. And yeah, we'll go from there. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for watching my videos, holding it down, commenting. You know, if you want to subscribe to my TikTok, my IG, same name, Wind Down with Books. And until next time, your girl is out.